Hello everyone. This week we were asked to do a video about a series of examples that relate to our phenomenon, and I found three sources that I will be discussing here. Um, the first thing that I want to say is that even when they are doing a great job, even when there is a number of veterans off the streets, and that's huge success. What I felt while reading some of these sources was advertising material. It was to let you know that they were doing their job, and because of it, um, there was a veteran off the street that they went the times that were necessary to the place to gain the veterans' trust, that they offered the necessary services to help this veteran, and that you can trust in them to take care of our veterans. So um, it's mixed feelings about it because I know the veteran now has a home, and hooray for that. But at the same time, is um, you're using this story to advertise yourself as uh, a great tool for them. So um, I took samples from Volunteers of America, the VA, and the Denver Post. Basically, the two that did this that I just described were Volunteers of America and the VA. What the Denver Post did was basically to put a camera in front of the veteran and let him speak about his military experience and his or her homeless experience. If they want to talk about who helped him in the process, that's good. If he wants to criticize how was military life for them, that was good. It was just his or her voice to be heard about his experiences or her experiences, and in that way I found that video to be precise or be more phenomenological than the rest of the stories. So let's start with Volunteers of America. They review the experiences of a homeless veteran named Roy. Roy didn't have huge problems. He had PTSD, he had depression, but he managed well. What happened in Roy's life was that he was laid off of his job and he went homeless. Veterans, Volunteers of America, and the VA helped him, and now he's studying in something he likes and he can work in it. And it's great, and I'm very happy for Roy. But if you look at the general profile of the um, majority of homeless veterans, you know that the problems they face are huger and more complex than what is portrayed by Volunteers of America. The second source is the VA. They told Michael's story. It's a story from this year. Long history of homelessness. He spent 10 years. I'm sorry, 10 years of his life under a bridge in LA, and he was very distrustful of the people. So when the VA went to help him, uh, they had to give him a tent and visit him several times in 1 month. Uh, then he got injured and he didn't want to go to the VA for help, so they transferred an MHA group to take care of him in his tent under the bridge, and that's how they gained his trust. After that, he got a voucher from the HUD Batch program, and he's living in a house for the last year. He also has been reconnecting with his family and has begun a path towards employment. If you read this story, you will capture very quickly what I was telling you at the beginning of this video, and it was that we went so many times. If he needed help there, we went there. We did everything we can to help him, and I really don't know if it's true with every veteran they encounter. So that's my problem with these advertising materials that they gave us. But I'm very happy for Michael, and if we can see also in his story that it's more complex than the one portrayed by the Volunteers of America, and that's good. But it's just distrust and a long history of homelessness. We also see a happy ending for connecting with his family, that it's not always what happens with homeless veterans. And finally, we have the Denver Post. They uploaded 4 videos about 4 different people that lived homeless experiences in Denver, Colorado. We had Robert, age 43, from the Army. We have Rich, 55 years and from the Army. Nora Bender, 67 years. She started in the Army but finished her military career with the Air Force. And then we have John, he's 40 and in the Navy. First, we have Robbie. Robbie had problems to retain a job and financially pay for his studies. Then he went into service and found contradictions with his perceptions about the military life. And he became homeless because of economic reasons. Then we have Rich, who had legal problems. He was in jail for 10 years because he got in a fight and injured 2 guys. And when he went out of jail, their parents had died 1 month before, so he didn't have a place to live. And then we have Nora. Nora is the first video we encountered that do not give us a retrospective view of the homeless and military experience, but tell us what is happening right now with her. She became homeless after her rent was raised. One important thing about Nora is that she says, I'm not sitting around, I'm working and I'm finding things, and I am taking occupational therapy courses, and I am applying for jobs, and I am doing something. And that's very important to know that she's trying, and to let us know that even when they are homeless, they are trying. And finally, we have John. He had legal and authority problems. He had multiple homeless experiences, and got to a point in which nothing mattered. At the end of the video, he says that even when nothing mattered to him anymore, the people that went and helped him said to him that he mattered for them. And basically that the reason why he received help was because he was a veteran. Papi, gracias por salir en el video. At the end of the video, he basically tell us that even when nothing mattered to him, the people that went and helped him. At the end of the video, what basically he told us is that even when nothing mattered anymore to him, the people that went and helped him told him he mattered for them, and that basically he received the help he needed because of his veteran status. And this is very important because the homeless civilian population doesn't have the safety net that the homeless veteran population has. And that's a powerful thing to understand about it. When they say they are homeless, there's more respect. But also, there is judgment. because if they had all these benefits, why they're now living on the streets. So for a person that doesn't relate to this topic or doesn't research this topic, I think that mostly what will impact him will be um, the stereotypical images he or she may have about this topic, and also the level of sensibility he or she may have. Um, because that's what this is about. It's about a veteran that fell into a crack and he could not get out because economy is bad, because he didn't have social support, because he had a lot of debts, because he had substance abuse problems that in some point you may perceive that it started with the military career, or he has a lot of mental health and physical injuries that started when he was in the military career. And there are a lot of dynamics going on, a lot of dynamics. So um, when you see this topic, you have to look at the face of the person. You have to look at the homeless person that is living on the street. Um, I have convinced myself that I cannot look at the numbers, even when they may be shocking, but the numbers fade. The numbers are forgotten. The numbers are just used for a purpose. When you talk about an experience, when you talk about a real story, that's what the people will remember. They will not remember in how many percentage we earn right now. Uh, they will remember the story of a man or a woman that fought, that encountered a lot of programs, that was living under a bridge or was living in an abandoned building, and with a resource, with a help of maybe the VA, maybe a community service, maybe another agency, was able to move on. And as that person, there are a lot of people right there that fought for the country and now are living on the streets because they fell under that crack.